It is Tip Tuesday today, and today's journaling topic I have for you is the benefits of journaling and why it's important to me. For those of you who are joining me for the first time, my name is Latonia Francois. I am the trailblazing owner of Let's Write Life, a journaling company I started to help programs and nonprofit leaders or program directors have an easy way to incorporate journaling into their programs and the work that they do in as a positive form of self-expression. So, gosh, I don't know if you can hear all that banging and noise, but it's I may be a little distracted because I am looking at a guy on the ladder right here, and he's probably looking at me like, what is this girl doing in there recording? But here I am talking to you guys. Nonetheless, so let me start by sharing about last week. Last week I was at Inbound 2017 in Boston, and I wish I had the paperwork with me. I don't, but I have to tell you guys, I posted live throughout my week. I went to 3 conferences last week. And everything that I experienced last week is a direct result of my journaling. The things I've been writing about, the things that I've wanted to achieve in my life has become my reality. Not an instant reality. Some things, yes, but some things became a reality because I used journaling to write about the things I wanted to experience. And even though I don't know all the time what those things are, life has a way of showing you what those things are. If you can at least define the direction you want to go. I have a post on Instagram. I think it says, be the energy you want to attract. And my journaling has been the foundation for attracting the energy. So when I write about things like, I want my life to have purpose through, inspiring people to journal, or I want to build deep, long-lasting, nourishing relationships with my family and friends, or I want to be a serial multi-billion-dollar entrepreneur that inspires lives to rewrite their story. That energy I'm putting out in my journals has turned into the energy and the abundance and the flow of great things that have been happening in my life. Now, when great things happen in your life, there is also the potential for when you're starting to live your life on purpose that setbacks, challenges, trials, distractions, all these things are also become greater, become more present in your life to derail you. And so last week at Inbound, so for those of you who don't know, last week I actually entered the week on a sad note because of a death that happened in my family. But thanks to the way I go about life, I had systems and, strategies and just personal hobbies, a lifestyle that I have has allowed me to be able to look at setbacks and look at tragedies that happen in life from a perspective of hope, healing, and restoration. And so coming through the lesser joy-filled piece of my week and entering right into the Inbound conference, it gave me that restorative hope that I needed to be inspired by awesome speakers, making awesome connections with people who are entrepreneurs in my industry or just leaders in their career. The most fulfilling aspect of the conference was that I got to meet Michelle Obama. And if you look way down my Instagram feed, it all depends on when you actually watch this video, but I did share some photos from the event on my Instagram. To hear Michelle speak, I also got to hear from Issa Rae of Awkward Black Girl and now Insecure on HBO, I got to hear from Andy Cohen. I got to hear from Mario Batali. I got to hear from Britt Marlin. I got to hear from John Cena. Like, I got to hear from the founders of HubSpot. I mean, the names that flooded, the names of influence, I should say, trailblazers, leaders that are thought leaders in the world, I got to experience in a matter of like 2 or 3 days at this conference last week. And coming off of that conference, the one thing that stuck with me was the importance of being your authentic self. And I thought about you guys. I thought about you and how you are working to use journaling in your life in a way that allows you to push forward. I thought about you and how I'm using my voice to inspire you through these live broadcasts, through Let's Write Life, through being a journal designer, through being a mom, through being a wife, through all these different facets of who I am. And what I was able to gain from my experiences at the Inbound conference was to open my doors to all that I am, so that you guys, you can be inspired and learn from me the way I have been able to be inspired and learn from them. Why not? Looking at their lives, they were so authentic and real that it was like I almost looked at my life and I said, wow, Latonia, you're doing a lot. And a lot of people look to you, but you haven't even you've been holding back. Even me, someone who's out here making these videos, inspiring you guys to journal, even I still hold back because of fear that I still let get in my way. And what I mean by that is, why haven't I, done a Let's Write Life retreat yet? Why haven't I started, online courses or a Facebook group for those of you who have my journals, for us to really connect and learn and go forward in life together? Why am I not a trailblazer on the stage? Yes, I speak at different organizations all throughout the year. Yes, I teach workshops, but even in doing those things, I still hold back. And going to events like that is when I'm able to see things in that perspective, to be able to reflect on my life and see the areas that I can grow, and then also see the areas that I can move forward in empowering you. And so that's how journaling, so when I think about my experience at the conference, I thought about, wow, I would have never had this perspective or been so open to seeing these individuals in this way had I not been at a place in my life to receive what they had to say from an empowering standpoint. I could have sat in the crowd saying, oh, I'll never get there, or, they're so great and my life is not. And I could have been discouraged or felt almost like what they're doing is so far out of reach for me. But as I sat there listening and watching these influential leaders, my mindset was really on, I can do this. They're doing it, so I can do it. It wasn't from a point of all the reasons I can't, but it was for my mind was telling me all the reasons I can. And how I've been able to get to this place is because of journaling. Honestly, and I'm going to share with you 8 reasons why journaling is important to me, so you'll fully understand how I came to this place. Number 1, journaling for me has become a source of how I overcome discouragement. It wasn't intentionally, that's why I started journaling, but that's what it ended up being. Because for me, I've journaled all my life, but not until I wanted to overcome years of depression, wanted to overcome years of feeling rejection, worthless, useless, having no purpose, having no direction, I began to use journaling in a positive way so that I could change my life. And as I began to write, quotes, words of affirmation, my dreams, my goals, things I wanted to experience, I would find myself a lot of the times when I would feel inspired to write, it would be because of the discouragement I was facing. Or I would be writing to say the problems that were in my life that were holding me back. I apologize for those of you guys who are just joining me. There's construction going on outside my window. So don't mind the background noise. The message here is what's more important. And so I was writing because of my fears and discouragement. Once I was awakened to that, I said to myself, you know what? Every time I write words of discouragement, every time I turn to my journal and I find myself speaking negatively about who I am and what I'm capable of, I'm going to turn those words into power and start to use examples in my life that speak against the discouragement. I'm going to use quotes. I'm going to use, oh, hi, Anita. I'm going to use quotes. I'm going to use Bible verses, scriptures. I'm going to use pictures of my family. I'm going to use all the things that are meaningful to me so that I can look past the discouragement I face and overcome it. And getting into that way of journaling over time, over weeks, months, years, it became my lifestyle to write that in that way so that I don't only just see the discouragement that are lies in my head that I tell myself or lies that I've heard other people say about me from my past that I haven't let go. I began to use my journaling to be a source of overcoming the discouragement each and every time I found myself going into that place. So the benefit to that has allowed me to always be reminded to speak positively and catch myself when I find myself beginning to write or think that way. Number 2, not to forget. So I use journaling a lot because of my own, and this is just me personally. So I don't have the best memory. Let me just put it that way. So I write to remember. And my grandmother passed away years ago, and she passed away of Alzheimer's disease. And before she passed away of Alzheimer's disease, before she even had Alzheimer's disease, I've just never been somebody with a great memory. And when my grandmother got Alzheimer's disease, it really affected me personally because I had to experience what it feels like for my grandmother that I've known my whole life to forget who I am. And that was probably the most painful experience I've ever had with somebody that I love so much. To lose her while she's still alive and she doesn't know who I am anymore. It was just horrible. So a lot of how I have been able to push past that time in my life, or when I think about my own memory or lack of memory, I use journaling a lot to capture memories. Because if the time ever came in my life where I experienced Alzheimer's disease or someone in my family experienced it, I want to be able to look back and show them or show myself this is what my life looked like when I may not remember. Now that's just something for me because of an experience I had. And so if you know me personally, and as you're getting to know me, Anita, thank you so much for following me on my journey and always coming on to my broadcast. I appreciate you so much. But as you'll get to know me, like these inspiration walls, I still print photos. I keep photo journals. I have it back here. I don't have it pulled out. I actually have a small Polaroid camera still, taking photos, capturing the lives of my daughters, writing about, memories that mean something to me. Those things are important to me. And in my journal, when I write about these memories, it fulfills my soul because for me, it means I'm capturing my memories for not just me, but for the family to come. And, tragedies may happen. Maybe I'll lose these journals, but for right now, because tomorrow isn't even promised to us. So in this moment right now, hi, Barbara, how are we doing today? But even in this moment right now, writing about those memories, it fills my heart. It makes me happy. Even if I don't have these journals and pictures 20,000 years from now, today it makes me happy, and I live in a way that allows me to enjoy life today. My dreams, my goals don't have to be out of reach, and that's what journaling allows me to do. Number 3, because I want to get through this, sort out my ideas. Now, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a visionary. I have tons of ideas that flow through my head because I'm a creative mind. And so when it comes to sorting out those ideas, journaling is tremendously helpful for me. All right, I'm gonna. Usually I have that basket or my basket closer to me. I don't have to turn around like that. But so before I designed the Create visual journal, I was using just a regular journal from the store. And when I find myself, I'll go through a couple pages. When I find myself overwhelmed by all the ideas in my head, I've come to a place now where I'm okay with slowing down time to figure things out. Prioritizing goals. Okay, so there's two sides of this. Sorting out all the ideas, period. That's one side of sorting out my ideas. And then there's also because I'm such a busy person, sometimes it's hard to sort out the goals that need to be done right now because everything needs to be done right now. So when it comes to journaling, I use visual journals a lot to sort out my ideas. Sometimes it's like, this is what I'm trying to achieve. I'll just put it in the middle and I'll just write every single one of the ideas, right? And once I look at the ideas, that's when I can say, okay, I'm going to pick one thing that I want to focus on right now. Because I technically don't know which of these ideas are going to work, but I have to start with one. I choose that one and I move forward. That's how I am able to just sort out my ideas and then prioritize what direction or make a decision on what I'm going to do instead of letting these ideas hold me back or keep me stuck. That's what I do. And when it comes to prioritizing goals on days that it's just like, oh my gosh, everything needs to be done right now, all I can really do is write down, and I don't know if I have it in any pages in here. Let me see, because I actually have a different journal I use, but I don't know. It could be, when it comes to visual journals, it doesn't have to be all beautiful and artsy. My stuff is whatever I need. So like for this example, I have a lot of goals that need to be done immediately. I will just literally write down on a big sheet of paper. I'll prop this up on my desk so I can look at it all day to hold myself accountable to just saying, okay, I know I have a lot to do today, but I have to get through everything right now. I'll write it down, look at it. If I can ask somebody to help me with one of those things, I will, so that way I can feel good checking it off. But if I have to do everything myself, I just set a goal and I just do the best I can. I write down one thing, even if it's not, the main, because everything's the main thing, it's hard to decide where to start. But sometimes I just like, it doesn't matter where I start because they all have to be done. So I just go ahead and just, okay, this is what I'm going to get done. I'm going to put an hour towards this. This is what I'm going to get to, put an hour towards that. And that's how I just make sure the goals of the day itself get done. And yes, I could just use a planner, but for me, sometimes I just have to put it on a big piece of paper so I'm not distracted. Put it in front of my face so I can remember, because, I forget, to get things done. And so I use journaling to sort out my goals, to help me make decisions, and to be able to achieve goals that require an immediate, action. So that's 3. 4, evaluate where I stand in life. So journaling is a constant form of self-expression that allows me to evaluate where I stand at every moment of my life. And so I've been sharing with you guys, I just put up on my website 30 life questions to awaken your personal growth. Because even me knowing Let's Write Life is my business, Let's Write Life is something I'm completely passionate about. Sometimes, not so much now, because I'm really happy with where I am in life right now. But every once in a while, there's other areas of my life that I am like, does this really serve me still? Do these relationships still nourish me, or are they hindering me? And so journaling helps me to evaluate all the areas of my life whenever I need to reassess my emotions or reassess, is my life still moving in the direction I desire it to be? That's how I'm able to use journaling in ways that are reflective and allow me to stay on course. In order for you to do that, you have to know where you're going. And so journaling allows me to be, I'm kind of like way into this now, but I have core values, which are in the pink frame on the inspiration wall. So whenever I'm evaluating my life, I'm evaluating it against what my core values are. Are those core values still passionate to me? Are they still what I desire? Does it still align with my spiritual walk? That's how I'm able to evaluate where I stand in life, through journaling. And that's something you guys can do too. So I hope you're so far following along with me and beginning to see how just a little bit that I have shared are the benefits of journaling for me. You can kind of see all the different ways journaling allows me to achieve a lot of different things. And that's the benefit of journaling. So number 5, relieve stress and be patient. Oh my gosh. Oh, patience. I tell you, being a wife, being a mom, being an entrepreneur, being somebody who has to, like all of us, paying our bills on time, wanting to keep our credit good. I mean, patience even for good news, waiting for your test results, waiting for the job answer, waiting to know if you got hired, waiting to know if you got the contract. It causes stress. And then, these challenges or these life situations, they cause stress, and then they force you to be patient. But it's hard, right? So when it comes to journaling, I'm able to relieve stress through writing about how I'm feeling, what's on my mind, and letting what's on my mind get all out on paper. And then be patient. How I'm able to do that is I just go back to the Word of God and what He says about being patient and being still. And I use my journals to pray for prayer. I write prayers. I talk to God in my journals. In those moments where if I'm in a tough decision or I'm waiting for something to happen, to just help me be patient. Does this make sense to you guys? Patience and balancing your life roles, mother, wife, student, yes. And sometimes to fill those moments, for me, I use journaling, like to say, God, why isn't this stuff happening? God, help me to be patient, or let me just wait on these things because of X, Y, Z, or be able to plan out what could I do while I'm waiting for X, Y, Z, or what can I do to help X, Y, Z happen. So I'm constantly writing to relieve stress. So I told you guys before, like, I changed my bathroom around, and I'm trying to be much, much better about my own self-care. Self-care piece is something right now that I am embracing in my everyday life to help me relieve stress at a time in my life that feels extremely stressful. All right, so number 6, increase spiritual growth. Wow. So yes, I am always using my journals to write as I'm in church listening to service, to write whatever inspirational words come to my mind throughout my day, or even throughout, projects that I'm working on. I use it a lot to pray and build upon my relationship with God. So I was on like a 21-day fast, and for each and every day of the fast, I wrote exactly what I was facing during the fast, and I tied it to like a Bible verse or a quote or a scripture and a song, because you guys, I love music. Music speaks to my heart, and so a lot of songs will inspire me or restore hope in ways that I feel but don't always have the words to put to those feelings. Songs do that a lot for me. And I don't see any in here. And maybe in another video I could show you or post a picture. But look at this one. This is an example. So how deep is my faith? And what I did here was write all the verses about faith. And so when I look at this, or when I need to feel reminded of faith, I love the hardcover journals, which is why the Create Visual Journal is hardcover, because I can literally prop this on my desk and it just sits there in front of me so I can be reminded. So that's just an example there. And so number 7 that I have is gain self-awareness of who I am. So when people ask me, like, what is my purpose or what I feel my purpose in life is, my answer is to know who I am. And through knowing who I am, that's how I'm able to discover, what my purpose is through who I am. So my purpose is know who I am, Latonia, so that you can take what you know about yourself into the world in a way that impacts lives. So I discovered I love journaling. I discovered I love my family a lot more than I give them credit for, or used to. And so once I learned these things, I learned, and also how much I'm passionate about being an entrepreneur. Once I learned these things, they became my core values. And those core values have allowed me to live my purpose, live a life learning and discovering who I am. As I get older, my birthday's this month, you guys. October, baby, Libra season. Anyway, okay. So as I learn who I am, then I am able to express myself fully with the world. So journaling allows me to be on that journey. That's what the best of me is all about. The best of me is about learning who you are so that you can live a life that aligns with that. And so my purpose was learning who I am so that I could know what it is about me that I can contribute to the world and do to make my life much better. And so that's number 7. And lastly, guys, release what no longer leads me to be better. And that's relating to relationships, responsibilities, the environment I put myself in, and pain. Journaling allows me to release pain. It allows me to release broken relationships. It allows me to release responsibilities that no longer align with my purpose. It allows me to release the environments that are toxic to my growth. Those things are not instant things that happen, but those things are things that begin to happen as I write and give energy and attention to them. The reason I'm where I am today and the result of all the conferences I got to experience last week is the perfect example of the benefits of journaling in my life and how, yes, 1 through 7, all those things are all the things I bring into my life, right? But as you're bringing things into your life, as you're allowing God to bring things into your life, you also have to make room. You have to push out the things that no longer deserve space in your life for God to fill you. If you're already filled with junk and pain and hurt and a lot of things that are just taking up room inside your soul, how can you be filled with joy if there's no room for it? How can you be filled with peace if all that's in there is chaos? And so journaling allows me to release all of those things that no longer serve my life. And I only am able to know the things that don't serve my life by getting to know who I am. Featured journals in this video today were The Best of Me. For those of you who want to explore visual journaling, awesome little inside tip. My husband and I drew this cover by hand, and then he digitized it and made it into what it is for us. Our initials are actually right there. The Create visual journal, it has blank pages and it has line pages for you to use it in those two different ways. All right then. Bye.